Okay, welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode 340. Yeah, I was gonna start with Blue Exodus first, but I want to get this one first because, well, it's One Piece. I can never pass up One Piece. Mostly put, this is where we're discussing episode number 1097, The Will of Ohara and the Inherited Research. Which this episode adapts from pretty much finish up chapter 1066 and goes through pages 2 through 9 of chapter 1067. So, pretty much with this episode, we kind of get some shocking revelations of what happened at Ohara, like right after the people were all killed, except Nick and Robin. So, we finally see what Vegapunk looks like in flashback. We get a gigantic head. And he does explain present the reason why his head's so big because of his fruit, because he's a dough fruit user. The brain fruit, which he also put his tongue with, and because he researched so much stuff, his head kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where he had to cut it off and make an antenna. Which I'll get to more of that later. So here in the flashback, he meets Monkey D. Dragon, Luffy's father. And this is before he got the tattoo he's got on his face. So he's there out and he sees like the books of Ohara that survived. And then he sees giants. Yes, giants. Removing them. And the captain, and they confirm this episode, is Saul. Which thinking, wait, Saul, as in the giant who helped out Robin, who escaped from Ohara? That was shown in a flashback for fancy one of the greatest arcs of the first half of the series, Annie's Lobby. Yeah, this confirms he is in fact alive. Over 10 years later, despite the fact at this point it had been like over 22 years in story. Yeah, he is alive. Of course, there's some research down below. He chats with Dragon for a bit, and of course, he mentions not only after the conversation with him. He then basically reveals that he had formed the arm. Oh, by the way, it's Hirogen. Yep. So, pretty much basically, well, they do wrap up this flashback here with him researching, and then eventually drags rest of the Strides, minus Brook, Chopper, Jinbei, and Luffy over to the control room and showing off basically what the whole island looks like, kind of. And that's a scene there. Meanwhile, though, Bonnie, at the confirming that yeah he is a legit Vegapunk, Bonnie takes out a baby saber, tries to kill him with it, but luckily enough it doesn't work. Due to the fact that, well, it attracts insects, which causes Bonnie to pass out. And we also feel a bunch of other stuff here. Now, this is not the fault of the anime for this, it's the fault of the manga, where we get a lot of revelations in this episode. I mean, a lot. So, do you remember in Punk Hazard when Momo ate that devil fruit that transformed into a dragon? Yeah, it turns out it was a failure. And guess who left it there? Vegapunk. Wasn't Caesar Clown. Caesar Clown probably knew nothing about the damn thing. So it was Vegapunk. And it's like, how was it a failure? He turns back everything. What was his color? Pink. Damn, failed. It failed because it was pink. Yes, seriously. Which I thought was so hilarious. Oh, by the way, a lot of them didn't know the fact that... Now, they knew about Luffy's probably head of it, they did not know that Ivankov and they knew Kuma founded the revolution, but not know that Ivankov was part of the Revolution Army. Despite the fact that of the Straw Hats, aside from Luffy, there's like 2 people who met him. Sanji and Robin. Yep. So the robot that showed a few episodes ago when we first saw Vegapunk, it turns out, according to what the world government has stated, 200 years prior to the series, it attacked the world government for reasons. And then we cut to a world government ship where we see somebody picking up a mask. By the way, if you're curious who this is, it's Rob Lucci. Yep, it's Rob Lucci. And I mentioned this to Jason Douglas about this when it was Jason Labricant when I met him at Central for Comic-Con this year that he would come back. He's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And this episode is basically an appearance by him. Yeah, you know, I know it's him because I'm associated with him. That's why. Though I do find this episode really good, except that if you're... Because the best place to describe this episode is a heavy, plot-driven episode. There's no action here at all. The only kind of action is basically Bonnie threatening Vegapunk with a beam gun, but here's the thing. It works perfectly fine. It's a story-driven episode, not action-driven episode, which I like those. Now, you might think that's boring. Where's all the fighting? We're getting there. Don't worry. There is going to be fighting. You're just going to have to be patient for that. The one thing I should point out, though, is that soon we might see a flashback arc. Yes, a flashback in this one, because One Piece loves flashback. As a matter of fact, the previous arc had 20 episodes dedicated to a flashback for Odin. This one has a bit of flashback in this episode here. It's a continuation of last week's one, but that's actually with Ohara. We also get a flashback in this arc for Botham and Kuma. Now, I have heard rumblings this arc rather really soon. Now, if you're really curious, because of the fact they adapted to 1,000, they finished adapting 1,066. They've only adapted the first 8 chapters. Full chapters out of... If you're really curious, this arc is going now for, let's see, 50, 51, 52. Basically, the chapter got released today. 53 chapters, so a little over a year. Now, there is a new chapter come out next week. That's definite. The actual new episode anyways, but not a new chapter manga. So now moving on to chapter 1110, Starfall. We have Ogre Child Yamamoto's Golden Harvest, Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 2. I want to travel through Wano, like Odin did. And she says this to Momo. Yes. Now, those of you might be curious though about this. Like, why in the world are we having doing stuff with Wano, even we just wrapped up Wano? There's a reason why. Wano was humongously popular. Fans loved this arc so much. And this, you could say this particular cover story is picking up right where the cast of Wano left off with. Now, I'm still hoping, really hoping, that the anime fully adapts the gangbang All My Family and the German 66A and Moses Incursion. I am really hoping at some point they adapt these cover arcs, because even though they partially adapt the gang, I think it was like German 66, I think it was, they partially have one chapter, but not the whole arc. But I still hope that we might see that, because those two make a perfect standalone episode, maybe 2 at most. So, there's a chapter called Starfall. So pick up where basically Navy is still attacking, Future Island. Oh, by the way, before I continue here, there is a replacement for Rabbit. Oh my fool, learn you fool. Yeah, they replaced this episode with Dive in and see information to Punk Records library, which that actually was first mentioned in this episode, the Punk Laboratory. Yeah, the Vegapunk Laboratory. Now, but also with Vegapunk Records, they mentioned this episode, it's this cloud in the sky that has details of all the information he's researched over the years, gathered in this one gigantic area. And he did say the reason why he did chop part of his head off was because it was getting too much for him. So he also mentions that he created about the 6 clones, 6 Vegapunk clones, which you see in the series. And the fact that the apple on his head is actually an antenna to the Vegapunk records. So let's talk about this chapter here. So we see, well, it looks like various attacking going on. Also, we cut back to Mary Joie, where the 4 other elders have left. Mary Joie to go to the battlefield. So we see, looks like Sanji carrying Vegapunk, like a 5 monster, and it's the 5 older idiots. We have Saint Saturn, Kuroki, Saint Mars, Isumi, Felix, who is Saint Mercury, Borowski, who is Saint Nestro, and Saint Peter is Sandworm. Yeah, and this wonderful 2-page spread that shows up the 5 elder idiots. I call them 5 elder idiots, where they're all in the battlefield in their monster forms. Yep. You thought 1 was bad enough. Try to take on 5. And of course, you have a pacifist stopped. It's one of the feature island ones, and of course, where the sword one, he basically takes out that one. You take a pacifist. Yeah, all about people getting away from there, and then we see like this big thing about the Punk records, and then about killing Bonnie. Like everything is going well for them, and it's like dive under an earthworm. Yep, and of course, then it's revealed that apparently that Brooke, Lilith, Chopper, Usopp, and Nami have made it back to Sunny. And then we see that, well, Zoro has finished up Rob Lucci. Yep, he has defeated Rob Lucci here. 3-sword spa hunter. And it looks like Luffy's been gobbled up by one of the 5 elders. And then he's in the guy's head chopped off by Dorian Broggy. Hi, 2 guys, the Giants. Bah, bah, bah. It's been too long, try. We couldn't wait to see you again. Gah, 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 gah. Yeah. I love the end of this chapter. It is so awesome. And I give this chapter a 10 out of 10. But, gotta wait 2 weeks for the next chapter. Like, damn, seriously? Yeah, seriously. Okay, so that's particular view. Next episode is going to be My Hero Academia. Yep, next video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Okay, thanks for bye.